What would you think about taking on your good friend Steph Curry in a three-point contest?
I mean, Steph, if you're listening, I've been asking for a rematch since high school, so maybe this is our time to figure out a time and a place.
Chesapeake, Virginia. A 15-year-old girl stood on a driveway, sinking three-pointer after three-pointer, chasing a shadow she couldn't quite reach yet. She was already something special, a shooter with a stroke that looked older than her years. But nobody outside her small circle knew her name. Not yet. That same year, she got an invitation that would change everything. Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter the game had ever produced, was hosting an elite camp. SC30 Select, a gathering of the most promising high school talent in the country. And for the first time in the camp's history, girls were invited to compete. 2 of them. Azzi Fudd was one. Picture the scene. Rows of college prospects, cameras rolling, and this teenager walking onto a court where she had to prove she belonged, not just among the boys, but on the same hardwood as her idol. She didn't back down. She competed in the camp's three-point contest and won it. Just her and the boys, and she came out on top. It was a signal, a warning shot, even if nobody realized it at the time. And then came the moment that would define the next 8 years of her life. A one-on-one shootout. Not against another camper. Against Curry himself. The best shooter alive, staring down a 15-year-old across the arc. She lost. Of course she lost. She was a kid, and he was already a legend reshaping the sport in real time. But something happened in that defeat. It wasn't heartbreak. It was fuel. Because when you're young and you get that close to greatness, close enough to feel it, to compete against it, even in loss you carry something away. Fudd carried a promise to herself. This wasn't over. This was just the beginning. She went on to become one of the most decorated players in the country. A national champion at UConn, a #1 overall pick. And along the way, her connection with Curry never faded. She became the first college athlete to sign with his personal brand, SC30 Incorporated. He wasn't just the guy who beat her when she was 15 and more. He'd become something more complicated. A mentor, a measuring stick, someone she trained under, learned from, and quietly, patiently, kept measuring herself against. Then, last year, something shifted. Fudd found herself overseas with Curry and his brother Seth running through drills, and an informal three-point contest broke out. No cameras staged for it. No stakes on paper. Just shooters being shooters. And this time, the outcome was different. Fudd drained 4 out of 5. Curry made 3. His brother made 2. She beat them both. It wasn't official. It wasn't a title. But it was proof. Proof that the gap she'd been chasing since she was 15 had closed. Maybe even flipped. Still, there was no stage for it. No spotlight. No moment big enough to make the world pay attention to what had just happened between them. That moment was still out there, waiting. Fast forward to this past Friday night. Chicago, WNBA All-Star Weekend. The three-point contest, one of the most pressure-soaked events in the sport, because there's nowhere to hide. No teammates to lean on. Just you, the rack, and the crowd holding its breath on every release. Fudd was a rookie, fresh off her first WNBA season, stepping into a room full of proven veteran shooters, players who had spent years building reputations from beyond the arc. History wasn't on her side. In the 18-year run of this event, no rookie had ever won it. Not one. She made it through the first round. Then she made it to the final. And across from her stood Bridget Carlton, a sharpshooter with a reputation for exactly this kind of moment. The final round began, and everything about Fudd's shot looked different from that driveway in 2018. Smoother, faster, more certain. Rack after rack, the ball kept finding net. By the time she was done, she'd put up 30 points in that final round alone. Carlton, for all her experience, could only answer with 19. It was over. Azzi Fudd, the rookie, the kid who once lost to Curry in a driveway shootout, had just become the first rookie in WNBA history to win the three-point contest. The trophy alone would have been enough for most nights. But Fudd wasn't finished. Standing in front of the cameras, riding the high of the biggest shooting performance of her life, she turned her attention somewhere else entirely. Somewhere the whole basketball world could hear her. She looked into the moment and said the name that had been sitting with her since she was 15 years old. Steph. She told him she'd been waiting for a rematch since high school. She said maybe now was the time to finally find a place and a date to settle it. Think about the weight in that statement. This isn't some random challenger calling out a legend for attention. This is the same kid who lost to him on that court in 2018. The same young woman who, just last year, quietly beat him in an unofficial contest halfway around the world. And now, standing on the biggest stage of her young career, fresh off making history, she wasn't asking. She was calling him out. Publicly. On camera. With the entire basketball world watching. And here's what makes this even bigger than a simple challenge. There's precedent. 2 years ago, Curry stepped into a three-point contest against another WNBA star, Sabrina Ionescu, during NBA All-Star Weekend. It was one of the most watched moments of that entire season, a razor-thin battle that Curry barely survived. If that crossover could capture the sport's attention once, imagine what a rematch soaked in 8 years of history could do. So now the question hangs in the air, unanswered. Does Curry accept? Does the man who once beat a 15-year-old on a driveway agree to step back onto the court against the woman who has already beaten him once, when nobody was watching? Because if he says yes, this isn't just a three-point contest. It's the closing chapter of a story that started with a nervous teenager waiting in line to prove she belonged. It's a mentor watching his students surpass him. It's the kind of moment sports fans wait years for and rarely get. The ball, quite literally, is in Steph Curry's court. And somewhere out there, Azzi Fudd is already lacing up, waiting to see if the legend who shaped her journey is finally ready to find out just how far she's come.